Oh, I actually was making sound. I was pretending like I was doing some of the vocals there. But you guys, welcome to At the Creative Table. It's a space where we invite you to pull up a chair. We've set our cameras down and we're talking honestly about creativity, calling, and the process behind the lens. So you are at the Creative Table today with Ruby,
Ivy,
Chris.
Yes. So we are here at Horror Lodge Studios in Fuquay Varina. And Chris is going to just share a quick blurb about this awesome space that we're recording in.
Hey, you guys. I'm Chris. Hey, Chrissy Love Photography. We're in a space, Horror Lodge Studios. It is awesome. We partner with them. So we use this space for content, to do our shoots, all the things. And it's awesome. It's in Fuquay Varina, like she said. Yeah, let's go, y'all.
Let's go. So we're going to dig right into this episode, you guys. We're talking about the calling to create. We talked about it a little bit on episode 1, but really the idea and what we hope is for you, our listeners and viewers, to really identify, like, when did passion become a purpose for you, and to know that, like, our gifts are going to mature over time. We've all been doing photography seriously for the past 6 years. And we're just going to share some more about that process. So we already on episode 1 talked about, like, when it stopped being a hobby for you. For many of us, we talked about, like, when we made an investment, it stopped becoming a hobby, or even just we realized that we had a calling to create, and that the calling allowed us to, just like look at life from a different perspective. When, Chris, did you recognize that you had creative gifts with your camera? And did you recognize that before anybody was like, girl, you good? Because you are.
Aw, thank you.
Yes.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did recognize it. And for me, the gift was the healing part for me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I gave myself something that no one else could with my art, if that makes sense.
It does.
So that's when I realized that this, you know what I mean? Like, and not for nothing, it's not good for everyone else, but it was great for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I
Yes.
realized before. But I am going to say it wasn't until the business part, and I did a lot of behind the scenes and shoots and stuff for Dwight, and someone was like, he told somebody, he was like, she does all my content, she does all my shoots and my pictures for social, and they were like, she does? Like, I didn't know that. And it looks really good. And I was standing there and I was like, it was like a aha moment, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, because I'm glad you saw what I see, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's, like, nice to be validated, but really nice to recognize that you have this gift and to believe in it yourself. Mm-hmm. And then also, like, to have an outlet. Dwight, for those who may not know, is Chris's husband. He's a DJ. Shout out to
DJ.
International. Shout out to DJ D-Dub. But yeah, she does all of his content, and they are a powerhouse team. Ivy, what about you? The question on the table is, when did you recognize that you had gifts, and did it come before somebody saying or validating you, saying, that girl good?
And she is.
thank you. I think for me, I've always been, like, a super creative person, especially as, like, a kid, whether it was poetry, whether it was drawing, creating anything. So I think photography was just something that I feel like I'm cutting out my sound. I feel like photography was just something that that I just really enjoyed, and obviously something that I was really passionate about because of my lack of pictures. But yeah, I think it's just always been a thing. And then the aha moment for me was probably when I was in person during the learning period. when we had that 3-day weekend. And we were reviewing everybody's pictures, and everybody was like, oh, what could be done better in this picture? What could be done better in this picture? And they were going through everybody's pictures, and then they got to mine, and I'm like putting down my head like, everything could be done better. And then everybody was just looking at it, and they were like, nothing. And then, the teacher was like, yeah, this picture is perfect. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Great. I thought it was great, which is why I submitted it. But now I'm glad that you guys think it's great.
Yeah.
And when Ivy's talking about the learning period, all three of us, we took a creative class, and part of that class, part of it was virtual, another part of it had an in-person portion, and she's just talking about like when they went through a critique portion of it.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to say, we took this class at all different times.
All different times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Literally. All different times.
I think it was first, second, third.
Yeah. And we didn't know each other. Well, you
I
guys
knew
are
her.
sisters. But
She had no choice.
yeah.
She was born 3 days after my birthday.
Oh,
I know.
Many years apart, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I think for me, when I recognized that I had gifts, and it definitely came before like any person validated it, I recognized just pretty early, just knowing like this is kind of what I wanted to do and do more artistic stuff. But I remember seeking the validation. And like when that validation didn't come, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go do something else. And like the validation didn't come at like, it's weird because like when you're young, you don't realize that you don't know everything, and the stuff that you're learning, and you kind of take it as Bible, even though it doesn't have to be. It like later becomes to shape your world. But good. I learned, I recognized those gifts pretty early on, that I was okay with, good with telling stories with the camera. So awesome. And so another topic on the table, obedience before confidence. Let's talk a little bit about that and just share, what did it look like for you once when you allowed yourself to walk in obedience before the confidence showed up in your creative journey as a photographer? Chris raised her hand. She's ready to go.
Today.
I mean, like for those listening, like what does that mean today?
So it was never on, put it like this, my bucket list of creativity is, to do a podcast. And
I agree.
You know what I mean? It just wasn't. And I know for you, this, you know what I mean, is something you've talked about before in our accountability sessions and stuff like that. So I'm walking on obedience. And because of that, you know what I mean, I'm building confidence because I tell you guys, it's not my lane to be, literally speaking and doing stuff, but these doors have been open, and because of obedience, I'm doing it, and it's building the confidence to continue to do so. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, I can do this. So yeah.
And I think that's like a key theme to remember. Like obedience builds confidence. And obedience builds confidence because it's gonna cause you to be consistent.
Look, we're learning.
Yes. All right. So Ivy, what about you? What's one situation in your life where obedience showed up before the confidence, and what did it look like?
I mean, I would also piggyback off of what she said, here and now. Just showing up, because I'm sure like all of us, God has given us all like visions, and like we might not know the finish line, but we know like a big point where God has showed us like, this is where I'm leading you to. And I I have been constantly getting in my own way. And it's just keep like that vision or like those thoughts that God gave me just keep popping up more and more often. And it's kind of like to the point where I'm feeling like he's saying, well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna give it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm like, well, I know what I need to do, which is just, do it and follow what God is telling me to do. Mm-hmm. And then the rest will come. I might not know how it's gonna come, but I know like me building this part of it will prepare me more for what is to come.
Yes. And it would be interesting to see like what gifts come out of this, like, because you guys may not realize it yet and right now, because your answers are kind of like, this is the spot where obedience came to confidence for you. Mm-hmm. For me, it actually was, I don't remember how many years ago, but maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I got a request to do a graphic for church, for a men's retreat. And the person that reached out to me said, here's what I have. It was kind of like, I made this in Microsoft Word, and, you can make a graphic in Word, but people, don't make it in Word. So just to give you an idea. And I'm like, I've never done this before. Why are you coming to me? And the person who came to me said, well, your pastor recommended you. And then I asked my pastor, and they're like, well, yeah, you have a really good eye for like creative stuff. And I had my camera and picked up my camera at this time, but I never was saying like, oh, I do graphics too.
Right.
And I made this graphic, and now I am part of, the team in our fellowship that that makes graphics now. And just walking in that obedience helped me realize, oh, I have this other skill. Like, because when it came, it was just like, okay, I see where they're going. And, like anything in church spaces, a retreat, like there was a focus scripture. So I read the focus scripture, meditated on it. And then I was just like, oh, this is what this looks like. And I saw it in my head, sketched it out on paper, and then went into, a graphic designing program and made it. And it was the first time I ever made any type of graphic. So that was for me. So what gifts do you guys think will come out of this? Just walking in obedience as a podcaster.
I think for me, there's like something going on there. I think for me, it's definitely has something to do with like getting people together, organizing things, building something. I'm not really going to talk a lot about what the vision is just because I don't want it to go to someone else. But obviously, like I'm talking about you people. I don't want it to go to you guys. No.
It's not ready to be released yet.
It's not ready to be released yet. But I definitely think that it's preparing me for what is to come, which is it's gonna be great. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the main reason I said that, like, as you're like, I don't want other people to hear it. I used to feel like that, and I think there is definitely a time for sharing things, but I thought immediately, like, how the Bible says God's gifts are without repentance, and it just means, like, you can't take those back, and you can't take it away. Like, what God does is permanent, right?
What's
so,
for
like,
you is for you.
Yeah, so if He's giving you something.
Yeah.
It's for you. Don't be afraid to share it when He's told
when it's
you
time.
it's time to share it.
Yeah.
Because, like, like Chris said last episode, like, lots of people can come up with podcasts. There's lots of photographers. There's lots of videographers. But nobody is going to have the eye that you have, Ivy.
Right.
Nobody's going to have the eye that Chris has. Nobody's going to have the eye that I have.
Yeah.
So
You can't copy our oil.
Yes. There you go. So,
Amen.
Yes. So for you, Chris, what gifts do you think will come out of, this moment of obedience?
Oh, I feel like in this podcast, this moment, Execution, like I said before, confidence
Yes.
of just speaking and not being quiet, realizing my voice, not just my voice but the voice that I have in the inside of, I have something to talk about that can help others. You know what I mean? Just increasing my creativity and stepping outside the box, you know, and standing on the impossible.
Right.
What may look like the impossible to say, hey, like I said 30 days ago, like, girls, let's do this podcast. Well, how are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? Instead of saying, listen, Friday, this is what we're doing.
Right.
2 days ago, this morning, and getting it done. You know what I mean? That's where I said the execution. I'm already big on whatever we start, we have to finish.
Yes, you are.
But like I said, standing on the impossible and stepping outside the box. You know what I mean? And it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to dig into like gifts a little bit more, like really lean in here where you think about our audience and like how can we frame something for them to take away? What would be some actionable steps that people could take to lean into their gifts and into their callings? And if nobody has ideas yet, I can start. Okay. So some actionable gifts, I would say, like leaning into your gifts and your calling is one, especially if you're a person of faith, just believing in what God has put into you, believing that he has it for a time, he has it for a purpose, he has it for a season. Two would be just starting with an idea. Start with an idea and perfect it along the way. 3, get education. And then 4, just surround yourself around community. So if you're looking to be a graphic designer, and you feel like you're called to do stuff around design, right? Just start figuring out like what's something that I can design, even if it's just small, and then just leaning into that gift, getting some education and being around community. What are some actionable steps that you guys feel like people could take to lean into their gifts or to nurture their gifts?
I'm literally probably just going to keep saying the same thing, just kind of like starting. And then if you don't completely trust yourself, trust God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
Starting and then stepping out on faith.
Yeah.
Or whichever comes first for you.
Yeah. I mean, because like if you never started, you may have never been in that format where people were like, what needs to be fixed with Ivy's images?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, some things that I would tell people and that I do and will continue to do, I start everything with prayer. I'm definitely faith-led with every project, just everything I do. And I think about a plant, right? I think about a plant. And it starts with the seed that you put in the soil, right? And then you have to water it. So that's like the education. And then sometimes it might need a little something extra sometimes, you know what I mean? Like whatever it's called. What's it called when you put the little extra in there for the growth?
Fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer. And I feel like that's the community, the village.
Yes.
And as it grows, you have to pluck out those dead leaves sometimes. Every plant, anybody who's a plant owner knows that, you know what I mean, you're going to get, it is what it is. And know when to pluck those dead leaves off. Yeah. And not for nothing, sometimes you got to replant the plant. You got to put it in, because it gets so big, you have to put it in a whole nother pot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and you can overwater a plant. So you got to know when the pause comes in. You know what I mean? So you be like, oh, I'm on the grind. But sometimes you got to take a pause and let the water, you know what I mean, dry up before you continue to overwater it. So, you know, that's my visual of it. But get your plant and start from there. And that's what I would suggest to people?
I love it because, like, one, right, the Bible talks about faith being the size of a mustard seed.
Yep.
And if we think about plants, even though we may see a tree, we may see a rose bush, it all started with a tiny seed.
A mustard seed
And the
of faith.
seed looks so different
For
than
each
what
plant.
the final, not even different for each plant, but different than what the final product
Oh,
even
yeah.
looks like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the seed is just like this tiny little dot
It's the vision.
that grows into something different. So that is so powerful of just like, that's probably going to be when we get to that point, like, what are you taking from the table?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
my
The
takeaway.
plant.
Yes.
The
Of just
plant
like
growth.
just remembering. And then also the seed has everything that it needs right inside of it to become that final product, to
Yeah.
become that final plant.
It's the stuff that
So-
you have to do to, you know what I mean? If you just put a seed on a table, it's just not going to grow.
No.
I mean, hello, scientifically, it's just not, we put a seed here as much as we would like to say, because I got plants at home that need some love.
Right.
It needs a lot of love. So we got to love on ourselves with that vision, that seed. So yeah.
Anything else, ladies, about leaning into your gifts that you want to share?
Sorry, I had the chills. She looked at me.
Oh, no. But anything else you wanted to share? No. Okay. So we're going to head into our next segment. And if you guys are just tuning in, you are listening to and watching At the Creative Table with Ruby
Ivy.
and
Chris.
yes, and we are sharing today just about the calling to create and just digging a little bit deeper into that. So let's talk about a few things that are off the table. Like as you're being called to create, we talked about, recognizing you have gifts before you have validation. And then also just walking in obedience. So I think definitely off the table is like needing permission from others. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Like you don't need anybody to start. You don't need anybody to tell you that you're chosen. What they call it, like, oh, it's a pick-me society, right? Like you don't need to be a pick-me. But what are some other things for you guys that are off the table in terms of like just leaning into your gifts and your callings?
I think for me, what's off the table from now and moving forward is hoarding my pictures.
Hoarding your ideas and not sharing.
Well, I definitely have so much more photos that I don't share. As in like photos that I've taken and work that I've done that is good enough to share, and I just haven't. So I think putting my content out there, and I think that may be it.
Now, it's like you're not sharing because you're looking for a certain look on your socials, or is it more something different or something deeper?
I think it might be something deeper, and I think it's like rooted in fear. And I think it's like I know my photos are good, and like I think I'm just holding myself back because like when I start to share them and I start posting content, and this sounds so weird, even just like thinking of the words that I'm about to say.
Yeah, but let it out.
Yeah. Like posting constant content and putting myself out there is going to draw attention to myself, which is going to ultimately bring me more customers. So like the fear of having expectations and then failing those expectations when I should probably already have proven to myself that I'm capable of doing it, and like I have a proven record that I'm capable of doing it. I'm capable of delivering. I'm capable of capturing great moments. But it's just whatever fear that I have behind my greatness that I'm holding myself back. So I think just leaving that on the table, like holding myself back.
Yes. And I think, I hate to table it, but I know
That's okay.
in like episode 3, we're talking a little bit more about fear. So let's make sure we dig more into it. But I think what you said is key, that like, even though you have this fear, there's been nothing to validate it.
Yeah.
So like, and just speaking about validation, like your internal metrics have this fear, but like nothing has validated it, but you know that your stuff is good. So it's like, how do you push beyond that and just put it out there and almost get rid of that fear of success? Sometimes it's putting just systems in place.
Yeah.
And just knowing like, this is the script that I'm going to follow. So
Yeah, definitely putting those systems into place or having a plan. But ultimately, even all of that, like even getting all that set up, I think it all just stems from just stepping out in faith, that it's all part of the process and it's all going to end up working out the way that it needs to.
right.
So
Yeah, and it will.
Yes.
It will.
Yes. And keep leaning into those gifts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chris, what's off the table for you in terms of, just leaning into your calling?
Just not stopping. It's okay to pause. I think you're the one that told me one time we were talking maybe last year, and what did you tell me?
you said that you haven't been doing photography lately, or like you stopped, and I was like, no, you just paused.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, and I think that has always like stayed with me. It's okay to take the pause because, things were going on that was super important. I'm not saying like the balance wasn't there, and I was like, okay, I mentally wasn't there. So I didn't stop though. I paused. I rested. I had to hear from God about what the next steps needed to be with the mental. So it's off the table as far as stopping. And I feel like everybody around me is an example. My family, you guys, which is my family. I always say we don't have to share the same blood to be family, and it's always family over everything for me. But I have great examples of what not giving up is. You know what I mean? And I think I'm a good example of that myself.
Right.
So it's off the table to say, you know what I mean? Like, I think we all been there with the fear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I know we have, all three of us,
Yes.
where we wanted
Yeah.
to do something, and that's where the accountability came in to say, how can I help you get to where you need to be? I mean, you guys displayed that on almost everything, where we can show up for each other as far as shoots.
Right.
And, you know what I mean, or our accountability, or, just conversation. Like, hey, what you working on? You know what I mean? And we can learn from each other too. So it's off the table of me stopping. Let me get back to the question. Sorry.
No, you're fine. And I definitely like what Ivy shared with you, and you've taken away, like, just sometimes if we reframe it and see, like, I've just paused.
Yeah.
And what do I do in this pause moment? What do I do in this quiet moment?
Yeah.
to
Because I didn't know what to
refocus?
do in the pause.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I had
Yeah.
to do the work of to figure out, what does that pause look
Yeah.
like? Because I thought I was stopped. You know what I mean? I thought the play button had stopped.
Stopped altogether.
But I pressed
Yes.
play. I pressed pause. Yeah.
And even though, like, there's a humanity part of it,
Yeah.
in terms of, like, your small business, we're businesses of one, right?
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have teams yet. We have systems in
Oh,
place.
I love how you say yes.
But yes,
Yeah.
yet. We ain't got that yet.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Yes.
not yet. We are
Yeah.
in the making.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, I think people do need time to pause and to rest, and sometimes you come back with, even more clarity,
Yeah.
even more vigor, and more direction as well. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Anything else for you guys off the table?
Did you mention what was off the table for you?
Yeah, I started in the
You did
beginning,
start.
but
Sorry.
but I'll share some other stuff. Like in terms of success for me, like leaning into my gifts, I have to realize that success may not look like I get monetized a certain way quickly. And like for those who are listening and have like creative businesses or building a creative business, it's not that I don't want to make money. It's just that I know that for me, I need to do the doing more and be more consistent and not worry about, and when I say it, not compare myself, honestly, because like I've been a second shooter for people that are, easily making like $10,000 like on a gig that they're doing, and like comparing myself to them and where they are. So just not realizing like, okay, I'm going to build to that level of monetization. But that doesn't mean that I'm not successful because, I'm not averaging $10,000 jobs.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. All right. Are you guys ready for our lightning round?
Yeah.
Right. I know we talked about off the table, on the table. Are you ready for the lightning?
You're getting good at this.
All right. So remember, in this lightning round, you're going to share the first thought that comes to your mind, and it's going to be, is it on the table or off the table? And if you guys are just tuning in, this is At the Creative Table. Thank you guys so much for listening. We are talking about the calling to create today, and we're in our lightning round. So on the table means you're open to it. Off the table means it's a boundary. We're going to start with Chris first this time, and I'm going to state the question. You tell me if it's on or off the table for you.
Okay.
And why.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
If no one paid me, I'd still do this. On the table or off the table?
I want to say on the table because there's sometimes that my obedience tells me to do a shoot to bless somebody because they need it, and it's a gift, and we have to share our gifts. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm about to advertise myself and say, hey, free shoots, because this gear is not cheap. My time is not there, but I do feel like I have to keep it on the table. I'm not going to say, I've seen people like, I'm not stepping out of my door unless you're paying me thousands of dollars, but I have done shoots where I've blessed people, but it's the blessing that came out of those shoots. I may not got paid for that shoot,
Right.
but it was what came out of that shoot that I got paid for other stuff. So it's on the table.
Okay.
It's on the table.
Awesome. Ivy, if no one paid me, I'd still do this on or off the table.
I think it would also be on the table. And I think it's because it's something that I'm passionate about. And I feel like photography is where I am now, but it's not always where I'm going to be. And I feel like continuously doing something that I'm passionate about is going to lead me where I'm going. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Doesn't mean I'm giving out free shoots. So.
Exactly.
I might.
Right. Right.
I might not. I'm sorry, I was looking right in the camera when I said that.
All right. So for me, on the table, off the table, if no one paid me, I still do this. Definitely free work is on the table. I would still be picking up a camera. But it really depends, like, for who. Who am I showing up for? And what project am I showing up for? And do I believe in it? So, yeah, that's my answer.
Well, I want to ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have people reach out to you, and for me, and I'm sure you guys like, hey, if you do this for me, you do this shoot for me, and then I'll call you out on social.
No.
I've had so many people say like, hey, you know what I mean? And my response to them, first of all, I'm like, this wasn't part of the obedience thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you reached out to me, but I laughed because somebody said that, and I was like, I don't need you to shout me out. I can shout my own self out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and not being cocky, but it was like, and I'm like, you don't even have any followers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, so, like, what would you say, or has somebody said that to you?
So I would, in that case, I would say no. I feel like if somebody's reaching out to you and they're reaching out to your business, like, I'm not going to show up to, a grocery store and say, hey, give me this free food. Like,
Right.
I'll come and tell everybody that, like, all about your grocery store. I think if they're reaching out to you, like, there should be an expectation, and you should be comfortable with saying no, that, like, no, this is my business.
Right.
So I think, like, when we talk about, for me, when I talk about, like, I still show up if nobody paid me, that's why I said it depends on who I'm showing up for.
Yeah.
And then usually in those cases, I'm reaching out to people because I know this is something I want to be involved in.
Yeah.
And maybe, maybe they've come and they shared that. Well, I don't want to say. I'm trying to think of, like, how to say it because I know it's something I want to be involved in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank you for that follow-up question. All right, you guys. So on the table, off the table, your calling always feels exciting.
For me, not always.
Not always, right?
Not always.
But do you still move in that direction?
Yes, I'm moving in that direction. But no, it doesn't always feel exciting. You said? No.
All right. What about you, Chris? Calling always feels exciting.
No.
No.
It comes to mind of that saying, favor is not fair, where you're called to something, but it's the sacrifice that has to come with it, and sacrifice doesn't always feel well.
No.
The things that we're called to do comes with pain. You know what I mean? Purpose comes with pain. So, and that's your calling. Our purpose is our calling. You know what I mean? And it comes with pain. And pain don't feel good.
Right.
So, and then the same in the photography world. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, my answer is definitely no.
Yeah.
What about you, Roops?
Calling always feels exciting. Absolutely not. Sometimes it feels like hard work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, am I enough, to do this? Like, do I know enough? Do I have enough energy?
I worthy?
Yes. But then there's times where it is like, you're doing something and you just lose track of time and you're just in the zone and operating in your calling, operating in your passion. And it's very rewarding,
Can be, yeah.
both times. 'Cause like if you stop and you give up, then you don't get to those moments where like it feels easier and effortless.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we are going to do a quick this or that. And then we'll pull into our takeaways for this episode. So this or that, would you rather stay comfortable or choose growth? Which one? Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Growth. What about you, Chris?
Growth all day.
Growth. Yes.
I think I mastered comfort.
Yeah. Same for me, growth. All right. This or that. Do you look at what you do as a hobby or stewardship?
I'm looking at it as stewardship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same for me. Stewardship. It's like
Yeah.
stewarding this gift and learning to do it. What about you, Chris? What
Definitely.
You do?
I'm confidently saying stewardship.
Stewardship.
And I know, when you're called to do what you're supposed to do and it feels good. You're not like,
Yeah.
All right. Last, this or that. Do you move in the direction of passion or obedience?
I'm moving in obedience.
All right.
I think I used to move in passion, but I'm moving in obedience.
definitely obedience, but I want to say passion led me to this obedience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. For sure. And then same for me, moving in obedience and just realizing that sometimes things that I'm passionate about may not be where God is leading me to, right?
Right.
So key takeaways from this conversation, you guys. What are you leaving at the table or taking away from the table in this conversation today? And for you who are watching and listening, we'd love to know the same for you. So make sure you get down in the comments. But what are you guys taking away from today or leaving at the table today?
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. Increase in, so we've been really, for me, this episode is like obedience. And what comes with that is leaving at the table the self-doubt. It's being able to get in that space of the pause. You know what I mean? Thanks to Ivy. And knowing to, listen to and get, like you said before, the clarity of when to take the pause.
Right.
So I'm leaving at the table of the go, and continue to pause when necessary. And this is what I'm taking with me, basically. I'm leaving stuff at the table, but taking with me. And just being able to close my eyes and be in that zone and be able to hear God. You know what I mean? So I'm leaving all the chaos, all the noise at the table.
All that outside noise and validation or the people saying, "Hey, I got exposure for you, Chris."
Yeah. I don't need it.
What about you, Ruby? What are you leaving at the table?
For me, I am leaving definitely just like what I was talking about like the success part and just thinking like, okay, like I need to be making X amount of money to feel like I'm successful and look like I'm successful in this, and just leaning more into just the places that God is calling me to. So that's what I'm leaving at the table.
Nice. I think from this episode, from this talk, I think what I'm taking away is just treating this part of my life and probably like moving forward as like being a better steward of this passion that God gave me, or being a better steward of the vision that he gave me, and just, walking with purpose and following that.
Yeah. And I think like to be a better steward, like we have to walk in obedience and like trust God at a not knowing level, and trust that like that seed, which was another thing I said I was going to take away, is like that seed, even though it's starting small, even though it looks just like a dot in your hand, and oh gosh, even when you drop it into the dirt, like it seems like it gets lost and maybe it's a bit messy, that whole growth process, but like knowing that it's going to look so much different than how it started.
Yeah.
And the outcome is going to be something
And then the way that
beautiful.
it blooms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a really good point to the seed too, and I think it came from hearing you talk about some of the stuff, is like everybody's seeds look different. too.
Yeah, they do.
To when you bring up like comparing yourself or something to somebody that's making like 10K per shoot, like that seat for you looks different. That seat for me looks different. That seat for Chris looks different. That seat for you all looks different. So just knowing, like, not comparing yourself to other people and just trusting the vision or what's next, what God told you what's next.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Well, any other thoughts, you guys?
no.
Well, if not, we just like to say thank you all for listening. And don't forget to share with us in the comments, what are you taking away from this conversation? What's at your table that needs to come off? And what are you looking to put on? Until next time, you are at the creative table. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.